Good day, everybody. Brian here, quantlabsnet.com. Today is November 21st. So in this video, I'm going to show you a whole whackload of stuff. So it's going to be pretty lengthy, I think. We have right now two versions of Visual Studio running. I'm going to show you the C Sharp, uh, the C++, all AI generate only with Claude 4.5, the latest. In there, you can see here with that little up arrow, that's Rhythmic Trader Pro. I cannot really talk about that at all because my terms of service um, it doesn't allow me to publicize any of that. I will talk about it at a very, very high level how to get this working. Um, and more importantly is the MotiveWave 7, 0.06, the latest version. So basically what we're doing here is the Rhythmic API has forced me, in order to do orders and that, has forced me to go into either C Sharp or C++. So all the Python stuff I've shown in the past with the auth Rhythmic Python package, I'm able to download historical data with that, it seems, but any of these Python packages I've tried to run for orders and stuff just doesn't seem to work properly. And here's the problem with that anyways. If you run into anything technical, um, you will be at the mercy of the creators of the author of those packages. You will not be able to get any form of support from Rhythmic API at all. So it's best to do what I've been forced to do here to either go with C++ or C Sharp. There is a Python version of the Rhythmic API. To be honest, it's using Protobuf, and that's just like I would avoid that. I just try to make my life simple, not complicated, no matter what the AI can or cannot do. So that's why we're sticking with Windows with both either C Sharp .NET version of the Rhythmic API or the C++ as well. If you do eventually want to go and go, let's say, co-located with a CME via Rhythmic, you can definitely go with the Linux version for C++. But it depends. I'm too like what I'm going to show you is already kind of somewhat complicated, but I'm going to do my best here. So here's the MotiveWave 7. Okay, so this MotiveWave 7 is with when you get the documents and coding samples from Rhythmic for the API, to me it's kind of scant. You only get maybe a sample, how to download one sample bar and an order. That's it. That's all you get for both C++ and C Sharp. With the API for web or like JavaScript or Python, it's just something I wouldn't recommend going through. It's just the coding style with this Google Protobuf is just I'm not a happy camper to view that. The easiest way to do this for now is C Sharp, the .NET version for Rhythmic API support. So as it stands right now, with no examples of how to download an entire um, historical data for what you're watching, I'm just figured I'll do everything in MotiveWave. Okay. So this is MotiveWave 7.06. Couple things here. I've created an optimized watch list here. It's got 95 plus or 95 instruments. I can watch through Rhythmic, which gives me access to the CME instruments for futures. So there's that. This is real time. Also, um, in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I don't know if this works yet with Ethereum and Bitcoin via this path that I'm showing. But I'll worry about that at a later time. Okay, so there's that. So I've set this up list. There's tons of videos now on YouTube to show you how to do this. Basically a watch list. The other thing that I'm using here is a scanning in MotiveWave. I've created the watch list so I can start the scan. In there, I've created a 2 hour. All the instruments in that watch list, the bar size I'm using is 2 hours, and it's using harmonics for all patterns. Okay, so that's how I'm doing that. And once I find something I like, um, I can code up an individual, call it a dashboard and beyond. Okay, So that's what I've done, and I'm focusing on the TN and the micro TN as well, specifically if you're going to do the micros TN, which is a 10-year treasury. Now, I've also identified a few days ago that the market right now is highly volatile. So we've switched the regime in the markets, and I kind of like, well, let's start focusing on mean reversion, and there's very few trend following strategies we can use. So that's what I did. I just focused on the TN um, contract. Oh, and one other thing, if you want to download the CSV, I'm going to show you how to use. All you got to really do is go into your particular chart here. Let's say here, and then we've got a chart that we like. What you can do is you can go into the chart, and then there's a data option right here, export data, and then that will enable you to download whatever you want, 500 bars, 30 minutes, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you can do that. Okay, so the the code that I'm showing you now, I'm just going to do this to free up some memory here. Okay, so we've got here two versions of the um, of this dashboard thing that I'm about to show you. One is for C++, one is for C Sharp. One is using Visual Studio 22 Community Edition, and the other one's using Visual Studio 2026. Okay, I have put together this document. I will tell you, moving around in Visual Studio is like a living nightmare. Okay, so as part of my package, when I upload this to all my elite programming folks, there's gonna be two uploads. I've already got one up in my elite section, but this one's for the C Sharp, and this just goes through all the configuration you need because there's different frameworks within C Sharp.net. You have MAUI for the GUI framework, the graphical user interface, or you also have. I chose a more simplified version of the WinUI 3. I'm going to go with MAUI; it's more complicated. So what I'm going to show you is for the WinUI 3. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, so here again, this is the C Sharp version here, the CS, and then let me just show you the C++ version. Okay, so again, this is up already on my elite folks. So this is all pre-configured, ready to go, and this is built for uh for Visual Studio 2026 for C++. Okay, so this is a standard Win application for Windows. So here I'm going to load in the file, the CSV I showed you how to download. This is now micro treasury. Okay, so there it is. Boom, boom, boom. It just looks pretty good, right? So I can now run a back test, all of that, looking pretty good. I can also do a walk forward test as well. Okay, so that's now available in my Quant Elite. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I gotta make some commentary here, which is really important. I'm getting videos, I'm seeing videos, I'm getting past communication that AI does not work for programming. That is utter BS. Okay, whoever you're getting that information is one of three things: lazy, stupid, or cheap. Okay, because the only way this can be done is with the latest Claude 4.5. Without the Claude 4.5, I would not be able to set up everything with the Visual Studio. Okay, so there's that. Also, that's important to understand is the AI with that Claude has enabled me to build this out with um, very little complications. It all comes down to being able to prompt properly. Okay, and you have to prompt it exactly what you want. Sometimes you may have to upload code and other files to tell exactly what you want. And at the same time, if you're like me, who's not a fan of Visual Studio and how it's all loaded and complicated, you can ask the AI to instruct you how to do that too, as I shown in. All right, continuing along, this is our second segment. Video recorder crashed, but we're back. Anyway, so as I was saying before, AI works 100% when it comes to debugging. Same thing. Claude 4.5 is the only one that can really resolve it. All this iteration with pretty well any other LLM is going to just put you through circling. And from my experience so far, many LLMs I've used, including all the popular US ones, only Claude, the latest Claude, gets the job done. Okay. Cuts through all that BS. So let's continue along. So I've shown you the C sharp version, or sorry, the C++ version. So let's go over to the other Visual Studio here. So that's a C++. Here we are. So am I in the correct version here? Okay. Let me, nope. Okay. Here's the C sharp version, CS. All right. So all of these were 100% co-generated by Claude, latest version. I'm going to show you now this version, which is oh, let's just see here. Something's clearly not working as it should. Okay, so we have this. So I should be able to run this. Okay, here we go. So, as I said, one of the nice things about Claude, it puts in when you ask for something, it gives you extra things that you didn't ask for. So this is one of the examples where that's just using simulated data. Um, and I can load my CSV as before. Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to load that in. This might have some jitterness to the. So here is the C chart version. I'm able to load in the file right here. And as I said, now we have a back testing for this time series. Okay, so it looks pretty kind of winning, kind of pretty good actually. Also, we have here a walk forward I've added. So if I want to go up 50 bars, I can do that. And then at the bottom, I believe right here, we get our average return. This is all projected. Average Sharpe ratio obviously is not right. It's the calculations for, and the average return negative 0.1%. So there you can gauge if you want to take in future trades. So that's pretty well it. Both versions will be uploaded for my Quant Elite folk. So just wanted to highlight where we're at and what's been going on. So when you go to my website, quantlabsnet.com, what you can do is uh, you can either join, go into the Learn tab here, get this free ebook on learning about high frequency trading C++ for a lot of HFT shops. And more importantly, if you go under the try, you can see my quant analytics for 7 days. And more importantly, as we are on November 21st, if you go under the plan here, and just so you know, this is the current rate, and this will be probably the current price of this elite membership, but it will be discounted right now with this Black Friday 75% off. After that, I have no idea how much this will be. But that's pretty well it. And I just wanted to bring people up to date where things are at, moving along. But as I said, we're forced to C sharp and C++ for Rhythmic API. One thing, the easiest out of all three, I find is the C sharp.net version of the Rhythmic API support, um, along with the C++ support looks okay. Um, but the thing is, you have to have this configuration file, some kind of certification file that I guess it's for your own environment that have to be included with your C++ code for it to work. As I said, with the other version of I can't remember the name, the web version, which is really JavaScript and the Python. I'm not going to look at that at all just because of, as I said, the coding style with the Protobuf and all that. It really kind of turns me off. So that's pretty well it. Just wanted to bring everybody up to date, and we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.